Good morning and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. When we read the gospel stories, we hear often about the 12 disciples and what they did. But after Jesus ascended to heaven and they were sent out as apostles, what happened to them then? We really don't know much. We have some legends and stories about most of them, and again, what is certain is that they did tell about Jesus and that the faith has been passed down to us. Let's go through the list alphabetically this week. The first is Andrew. Andrew was Simon Peter's brother and actually was most likely the first disciple. He heard Jesus preach and went to find his brother. There are several books not in the Bible regarding Andrew. The Acts of Andrew and Matthew, etc., but they are considered fictitious. It is said that Andrew went through Asia Minor, even founding the church in Constantinople, and then up into Russia around the Black Sea. There, he supposedly encountered pirates and cannibals. One legend says that he converted a governor's wife and that the governor didn't like it. When his efforts to get his wife to renounce Christianity failed, he had Andrew crucified on a cross shaped like an X. Legend says that Andrew hung there for 2 days preaching and calling for people to be faithful. It was said that his arm, removed after death, was taken to Scotland, and his symbol is the National Cross of Scotland. Andrew is also the patron saint of Russia. Bartholomew. This may be the same person as Nathanael. People had a variety of names in that day. There were Greek names and Roman names, nicknames and Hebrew names, and so forth. There are several legends about Bartholomew. Early church historian Eusebius said that a philosopher friend of his visited India and found there a copy of the Gospel of Matthew in Hebrew, supposedly left there by Bartholomew. According to legend, Bartholomew was crucified head down. There's a stronger legend that says he was flayed or skinned alive in Armenia, and his symbol includes a knife. James, son of Alpheus, also called James the Minor because there's another more well-known apostle named James too. There's a hint in Mark 2:14 that this James may have been Matthew's brother, but that's unlikely because these two are never paired like Peter and Andrew or James and John. We really don't know much about him at all. One legend says that his body was thrown from the pinnacle of the temple and then sawed into pieces. These first 3 legends and stories already hint at something important. You probably noticed that all 3 died horrible deaths. And perhaps one thing that tells us is that Christianity meets resistance. Christ calls us to change, to abandon our own ways and live the way God would have us live. And that's not easy. And it's not always comfortable. And sometimes that call meets violent resistance. So I think we can be thankful for these early apostles who were so committed to their faith that they spoke in spite of the resistance and kept the faith even in the face of suffering and death itself. And I think their lives and their deaths might be an opportunity for us to ponder whether our own Christianity has been tamed a bit and become too comfortable. We might consider, if our faith isn't meeting resistance, are we really standing for anything at all? These are hard questions. What we know is this: whatever life brings, whatever being faithful to Christ Jesus leads us to, Christ goes before us and with us. We are Christ's apostles, and his love will never let us go. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.